The SEAL training compound in Coronado was buzzing with the usual mix of adrenaline and exhaustion. Recruits ran along the obstacle course, voices hoarse from shouting cadence, boots slamming against packed sand. Salt air blew in from the Pacific, stinging eyes and lungs alike. For the men training there, this was hell. Hell Week wasn't just a phrase, it was a living nightmare of cold water, sand-filled uniforms, push-ups until arms gave out, and instructors barking until recruits broke. Some had already rung the brass bell near the chow hall, signaling they quit. For the rest, survival was the only thought that mattered. Most never noticed the old man sweeping the concrete near the equipment shed. He was always there, a broom in hand, faded baseball cap low over his brow, moving at a steady, unhurried pace. His clothes were plain, a gray shirt, work pants, boots worn smooth with age. No insignia, no name tag, no rank. To the recruits, he was invisible, a just maintenance staff keeping the compound tidy. But one recruit couldn't stop glancing at him. Seaman recruit Ryan Hayes had only been in Coronado for 6 weeks, but his eyes caught details others overlooked. Maybe it was because his father had been in the Navy, maybe because he grew up reading about Special Forces legends. Whatever it was, the old man didn't fit. Something in the way he carried himself, a back straight, movements precise, screamed military. Not just military, but the kind of discipline beaten into a man over decades. Ryan first noticed him near the obstacle course on Tuesday. The man leaned on his broom, watching as recruits struggled over the cargo net. His expression gave away nothing, just calm, steady eyes following every movement. By Thursday, Ryan saw him again, this time hosing down the dock where the recruits had just endured surf torture, shivering in the freezing Pacific. Most recruits were too busy hugging themselves for warmth to notice, but Ryan saw the old man roll up his sleeve slightly as he twisted the hose valve. That's when he spotted it, a tattoo. Not just any tattoo, a trident, black and faded with age, surrounded by a set of coordinates inked around the edges. The exact style Ryan had seen in books about SEAL team veterans from Vietnam. Ryan's chest tightened. His instructor had mentioned once that only a handful of those men were still alive. Why would one of them be sweeping floors here? Friday afternoon, while the rest of the recruits marched to the chow hall, Ryan slowed his pace and drifted toward the equipment shed. The old man was there again, broom scratching across concrete. "Sir?" Ryan called softly. The old man didn't look up. "Ain't no a sir here, son. Just keep moving." Ryan hesitated. "That tattoo on your arm, a broken bar, you were a SEAL." The broom stopped mid-sweep. Slowly, the man lifted his head, his eyes locked onto Ryan's with a sharpness that froze him in place. For a moment, Ryan felt like he'd stepped into the sights of a sniper. "You've got a good eye," the man said finally. His voice was low, gravelly, but steady. "Most don't notice, and those who do know better than to ask." Ryan swallowed hard. "A broken bar? I didn't mean disrespect. Just a broken bar. I've read about the old teams, the early guys." Enough." The old man's voice cut like a blade. He leaned on the broom, studying Ryan in silence. Then, with a small sigh, he motioned toward the shed. "Come on, kid. If you're gonna poke your nose where it doesn't belong, you might as well hear it where ears don't wander." Inside the shed, the air smelled of oil, salt, and canvas. The old man shut the door behind them, then sat heavily on a wooden crate. "That tattoo," Ryan began carefully. "The trident, a broken bar, those coordinates, are they're a grave." The man interrupted. "Coordinates of a place where good men never came back." "Cambodia, 72. We were ghosts in a country we weren't even supposed to be in." Ryan's throat tightened. He had read fragments of those missions, half-denied stories of SEALs slipping across borders during the Vietnam War. The old man rolled his sleeve up higher. The trident tattoo was weathered, ink bled by time, but the lines were unmistakable. Around it, the numbers curved like scars. "I was 21, he said quietly. "My whole team went in. Only 2 of us crawled out. The rest a broken bar. The jungle kept them." For a long moment, the only sound was the hum of a flickering bulb. "Why are you here?" Ryan finally asked. "Why sweep floors at the very place you want to see?" "Because this is where the next ones are made." The old man's voice hardened. "I've had my time. I don't need medals, stories, or recognition. My job now is to watch, to see who's got steel in their bone as a broken bar and who'll break. Ryan felt a chill run through him. You watch us train, he realized aloud. The old man nodded once. Every day. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. He kept seeing the tattoo in his mind, the cold look in the man's eyes when he spoke of Cambodia. It was like staring at a living ghost. But the revelation didn't stay secret for long. During Saturday's log, PTA recruits lifting massive telephone poles together, shoulders screaming with pain. Ryan's teammate Martinez spotted the old man again. He pointed with a grunt, whispering to Ryan between gasps, "Dude, that janitor's got a trident tattoo. You see that?" Ryan stiffened. Within hours, the rumor spread through the barracks like wildfire. By evening chow, every recruit was whispering about the mysterious old man. Bet he's some kind of legend they don't talk about. No way. He's just a groundskeeper. I'm telling you, I saw it too at the SEAL Trident. When Sunday rolled around, even one of the instructors caught wind. Chief Petty Officer Lewis, a stocky, battle-hardened man with a booming voice, cornered Ryan after morning drills. "You been spreading stories about my janitor?" Ryan snapped to attention. "No, Chief, just a broken bar answering questions." Lewis stared at him for a long, uncomfortable moment. Then, to Ryan's surprise, a grin tugged at the corner of the chief's mouth. "Hell, about time one of you noticed." "Took you long enough." Ryan blinked. "So broken bar it's true?" Lewis's smile faded into something harder. "True enough, but you didn't hear it from me, and you'll keep your mouth shut, understood?" "Yes, Chief." Lewis leaned in. "Men like him don't brag, they don't need to. You kids think you're tough because you can run 6 miles in wet boots. That Mana broken bar, he survived things you can't even imagine. Remember that before you go digging where you shouldn't." From then on, Ryan couldn't look at the old man the same way. Every time he swept past the obstacle course, every time he lingered near the docks during surf torture, Ryan saw not a janitor, but a warrior cloaked in quiet, a relic of battles long buried. The respect grew into something deeper after the night march exercise. Recruits stumbled through 20 miles with rucksacks digging into their shoulders, eyes blurred from exhaustion. Around mile 15, Ryan's knee gave out, sending him sprawling. He lay there, grit biting his cheek, pain screaming up his leg. The other recruits pushed forward. A survival demanded it. Ryan thought about quitting. The brass bell flashed in his mind, a sweet escape from the agony. And then a shadow fell over him. The old man knelt silently beside him, broom nowhere in sight. In its place, he carried nothing but a canteen. "Hurts like hell, doesn't it?" Ryan winced. "Why, yes, a broken bar." The old man handed him the water. "Good. Means you're still alive. Means you can still move. The day pain stops mattering is the day you're dead." Ryan drank, water spilling down his chin. When he looked up again, the old man was gone. Nay, melted into the night. But the words burned hotter than the pain. Graduation day came months later. Of the hundreds who started, only a handful stood on the grinder in crisp uniforms, tridents gleaming on their chests. Ryan was among them. As the ceremony ended, applause echoing, Ryan scanned the crowd. Families hugged their sons, instructors clapped shoulders. And there, near the back, leaning on his broom as always, stood the old man. For the first time, Ryan raised his hand in a crisp salute. The old man didn't return it. He simply gave a small nod, the kind of nod that said you've earned it, and turned away. Ryan never saw him again. But years later, deployed halfway across the world, when fear crept into his bones and pain begged him to quit, Ryan would remember the faded tattoo, the coordinates etched like scars, and the voice of the quiet old man. "Good. Means you're still alive. Means you can still move."